Whoa. How's my nose? Does it smell good? Does it taste good? Anyways, chilling here in the Royal Farms parking lot because your boy got to go pick up his cameraman. Got ourselves some refreshing beverage to help us get through this unboxing today because it's going to be a real treat. So stay tuned. Alrighty. We are here with an order from the Spider Shop. We have 2 tarantulas, which is odd because I don't usually purchase tarantulas, but these 2 I just had to get. You'll see in a minute. One is my favorite species of all time, and the other is a freebie that is also very cool. We have some enclosures already set up that we'll put them in right now. Alright, so here's the enclosure for both of them. We have a sling and an almost adult tarantula. They're both fossorial species, which means they burrow in the soil. Anyways, so I think we're gonna start with the little one first because I think that would be easier. So the first one up is by Rupees Sima Roxy Gorum. Now, we can go in here, try to get this unboxing. First up, got a ruler, I guess, so that we can measure our own penises. I think we're gonna need a bigger ruler though. Just kidding. Anyways, get in there.
6.5 hours later.
I'm gonna put like a joke in there about how it took me 15 minutes to open this, like 15 minutes later. This is my receipt. I don't need it. OBT sticker, orange bitey thing, or orange baboon tarantula if you're normal. We have, of course, the Spider Shop little business card there. These guys are on the same level probably as like Fear Not Tarantulas, people like that. Just, you know, a larger supplier of tarantulas. They got a lot of cool species. And here we go. This is the little dude by Rupees Sima Roxy Gorum. Now the first thing I'm going to do is actually carefully peel the label off of this so that I may put it onto here, just so that I know, just in case I get more. A lot of bigger people do this, people with much larger collections than I. Here's the closure. There's a pre-made burrow here. It is the little hole you see, and we have some leaf litter and stuff like that. There are springtails in here. You might see a little bit of movement by small white things. Those are the springtails, and I just put springtails in anything that has soil because they're very helpful. But let's try to get this over. Let's try to get this opened up. That's good. Right. Now I'm going to use a pair of tongs, actually, because that is what is recommended. Where are my, like, semi-long ones? Oh. Alright. I do not know how crazy this guy is going to be. I'm going to do this inside of a container. Oh, that's Zelda. Say hi, Zelda. Zelda moment. That's crazy. Alright. This is what is called a catch cup. Basically, if it runs out, we can catch it. Nah, that didn't even work. Right. Let's try to sort of unroll this. Oh, wow. There it is. See? That's why we have the catch cup. That would have gone all over the floor if not for the catch cup. Alrighty. Let's try to get you in here. Right. Maybe I can get it to go down in the burrow if I tap it a little. I did forget to say these guys are, they are fossorial, but they're also old world tarantulas, which means they're faster and they do have more potent venom. These guys are very pretty when they're all grown up. They have these blue legs, which are just to die for. Hold on. Oh, no. Not on me. No, 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 no. No. Please. No. We'll cut this.
I'll cut this bit out.
Oh, come on.
Well, how far would?
Did it seriously go like all the way up my sleeve? A little bit of technical difficulties there. We got it in the thing though. So these guys sort of have a different appearance than other tarantulas. They are not very hairy and bulbous. They're kind of long and hairless. But that's number one. It was a nightmare. Annoying. Anyways, this one will be easier because we don't need a catch cup. We have catch house, which is easy, which is perfect. All right, some here. Except we're not gonna open it on the floor because that doesn't make any sense. Inside of the big house. This is an enclosure that I made for my OBT, but the OBT has since died, and so I've revamped it into an enclosure for fossorial tarantula. There's a lot of deep substrate. If you want to pan to the side here, you can see how deep that substrate is. A lot of spaces to burrow, especially since the spider is actually not as big as I thought it was. I did sort of check on them before opening them up, just to make sure that they were good. There's a lot of sphagnum moss in here to sort of make it look nicer and make it more humid. This is a more moisture-dependent species. We have a nice cork bark and a pre-made hide down in there, which I assume that they will use to start the burrow. There is some Armadillidium vulgare, isopods in there, cleanup crew, and of course, springtails. Because why wouldn't there be? But let's try to get her out. And I'm gonna try to peel off that. This is Tarantula ornithoctinae species Ho Chi Minh. I'll obviously put that on the video for you guys so you can see. This is my all-time favorite species of tarantula, just in general. This is a large female. I did kind of get a glimpse at her before this video even started, but I did not take her out. So cool. So what we're gonna do is actually close it back up. We're going to take it out. Aha. Like that. We're gonna flatten out the paper towel, and we're going to encourage her to just crawl out on her own. I know that these tarantulas can be very defensive. I know that they can be a little bit wary. I don't actually know how bad she will be, but I have catch bucket ready just in case. All right. So this is by far my favorite species of tarantula. I just love them. They look so freaking cool. They are notoriously hard to breed, but that won't be a problem for me because I don't really plan to breed them. Right, so I'm going to take that with me if you don't mind. I love that there's a little lip right there. Boom, done. No worries. She's in. What should we name her? Steve.
What is her?
Steve-ette.
What about Spindle?
I don't know, man. Alright, there are some small things that we want to do some updates on first, and I gotta kind of clean up the ground here a little bit because it's looking kind of messy. Except for these, I keep these containers. I will reuse them. Anyways, first up, we're going to do an update on these rubber duckies. We have a few updates that I want to get through, and this is certainly one of them. So, right, so first things first, we have our rubber duckies, just looking for some here. And these guys have been doing just nicely. I've noticed that the springtail population is starting to take over a little bit. They are still not, there's not that many, but they are definitely working their jobs because I've not noticed any problems with fungus gnats or mold or anything. Here's one of them. I don't want it to congregate, I just want it to move so we can try to get a better look at it. How adorable it is. This thing's awesome. So these were definitely a good purchase. I really like rubber duckies, especially the blonde duckies. I think they're really cool. These guys come from limestone caves in Thailand, which is really neat. But yeah, I'm just wanted to say that they're doing good, that they all didn't all die. They do make burrows, so I'm not too worried about them just kind of almost disappearing here. I'm just assuming that they're somewhere else in the substrate. But yeah, I've not noticed any dead ones, which is good. Alright, well, we can move on to the cappuccinos. Alright, next up, cappuccinos. These guys are my favorite isopods that I own. Not my favorite just in general, just my favorite that I own. But these guys are doing great. So, actually, here's one right here. So, this is a molt, and actually you can see here, this is a half-molted isopod. The sort of lighter side at the front is the other half of the molt, and then the back side where it's darker is where he has molted. Isopods do this kind of weird half molt thing where they molt one side of their body, then the back, and when they're freshly molted, they actually don't look completely white, they look completely normal. They molt in a much different, more unique process than other types of invertebrates. Got the cuttlefish bone here. I have noticed isopods on this, but there's none right now. These guys love the magnolia pod. We can actually see one in here. Little dude. I've noticed many of them chilling out on here, and I think I've even noticed noticeable amounts of feeding as well. We got a bunch underneath here. We got 3. Yeah, actually 4. I see them. There's 3. Kind of chilling here, one there, and there's this little tiny one right here. I really enjoy these isopods, and I'm glad to see that they're doing well. I haven't noticed any matzae yet, but it's going to take a little bit for those to show up. Well, let's leave them alone for now. Alright, so these are the Denobolus melanocorus, the bumblebee millipedes. They haven't grown too much, but I have noticed substantial amounts of feeding. I actually had to replace all of these leaves recently because they ate them all, which is good. It means they're doing well. You can see one of them here. I think I noticed some size increase. No molts yet, though. The springtails are going absolutely crazy breeding inside of the leaf litter here. Whenever I open up the lid, I notice so many of them, so that's good. I do not have any worries about pests or fungus inside of this colony, or I should say just small culture of millipedes, because there's only 3 in here. But I have no doubt in my mind that these guys will work perfectly fine. Right, next up is my Neoneurogroe. This is my favorite update because these have actually started to grow in size substantially. So we can actually see quite a few of them on the top here. They've all escaped into the dirt now. But on here, we can see so many of them. You see them kind of running around, soaking up the breeze or whatever. There's a bunch of babies as well. You can't really see them with the naked eye, or not the naked eye, but rather the camera, because they're just too small. But I've noticed so many tiny little orange babies, and that's amazing, because this is honestly a really cool species, and I'm glad they're starting to take off. Actually, that's a baby right there. I was worried here for a second, because they kind of disappeared, and I didn't really notice them, but I'm glad that they have sort of taken off a little bit. These will be quick. This is the Latrodectus elegans. They've got a couple molts on them. We can sort of see the colors coming in. There's the other one. 2 of them did die, but one of them appeared to be a mature male and not a sling, and the other one died for unknown circumstances. Stuff like that happens. It's why we have 2 and not 1. But it doesn't look like I'll be having any males. It looks like they were both females, the ones that survived. However, this is no biggie. I can probably find somebody who has some males for sale, and then I can use those to breed with my current females. Alright, so this is a project I'm working on. These are pseudo-scorpions that I collected out in the wild. Oh, you can so barely see them, but there's a couple right there. These guys are extremely tiny arachnids that resemble scorpions, but they're actually not. They are from their own little order called Pseudoscorpiones, and they look like scorpions, except they don't have venom claw, like a venom telson. They have venom in their claws that they use to inject. These guys are really cool. I don't know what species they are, but I did collect them out in the wild. Eventually I'll have to figure out what species they are just so that I can start labeling them properly. I want to see if I can get a collection going, and then maybe I can sell them. I know that larger species will eat flightless fruit flies, but these guys are so small that they are eating springtails, because that's what the babies eat. But I think the springtails might even be larger than them, so they're probably just eating springtails, which there are ample amounts in there. Next up is actually some isopods that I bought from a friend. After I go show them, we can sort of plug him if that's okay. So these are just the good old normal Armadillidium maculatum, or the zebra isopods. If I remember correctly, maculatum means striped, and Armadillidium, obviously armadillo, they roll up. But these guys are really cool. We have quite a few of them in here. That white one is the cappuccino morph, and there's an axanthic one sort of there in the left. It's the kind of browner one. These guys are really cool. I have a bunch of these, a bunch of babies, and they're really easy to breed. There's some fish food in there for them, and cuttlefish bone, as well as rotting leaves. I'm going to be giving them other types of food as well, and I have no doubts that these guys will do perfectly fine. And I said I'd plug the guy who gave it to me because it's cameraman's friend. It is Geckos of the Coast on Morph Market. Yeah! He sells crested gecko morphs and a few isopods. That's how I got him. And so go show him some love. Go buy some of his crested geckos. Go give him some money. Go do it. Thank you. Literally nothing special at all. These are just a wild colony of Armadillidium vulgare that I've been collecting and letting sort of exist in the ether. They have cuttlefish bone as well. Let's see if I can find one. Oh, there's one. Come hither. No! It's one. I'm sure the camera saw it. There's a couple in here. I'm sure that they will breed out of control in no time. There's a bunch of morphs. It's just the wild type anyway. But, yeah. And also, in sort of this menagerie of nonsense, I've also been raising some random-ass tussock moths that I found outside. The moth breeding is not over. I do still raise them. See a couple here. They need new food, and I'm going to net cage them soon. There's a bunch of them in here. You can sort of see them on the top as well. These guys are cool, and I don't know what species they are necessarily, but I'm sure it probably won't be that hard to narrow down, because it's probably just the common tussock moth that lives in this part of the country. Anywho, speaking of moths. Alright, so out here we have some moths. Now, these 3 in here are Saturnia walterwarum. This one is dead, actually. Probably recently died. This is a male. And he's still got a little bit of life in him. Man. Well, this is Saturnia walterwarum. They're a species of moth that comes from the eastern half of the United States. His wings are kind of messed up because he was kind of wet when he hatched. This is the female. I don't know, actually, if she's mated, but she is laying eggs. If she has mated, then that'll be good for me, because I can actually get eggs out of her. They're a very pretty moth that come from that part of the country. They're a little bit hard to raise, but apparently they breed in captivity regularly. I do have more cocoons that will hatch, just in case those didn't, but that's about it for that. Alrighty. And this is just your average this is just your average American Polyphemus moth. These guys are obviously native to this part of the country. And this is a female. She's pretty large. These guys kind of come in 2 color morphs. This one where it's sort of duller brown and then the more orangey brown. Some of them even have a little bit of purple on them. This one doesn't have that much, but it's a nice big female. I was waiting for some other males to hatch. Maybe she'd call in a male, but she has yet to. So I think she's probably going to die before anything happens, sadly. But still a cool moth. It's native. I can get them pretty easily. Anyways, next one. All right, these are the Ferris. So this is just a quick watering session. Making sure they're all misted. They don't necessarily need the humidity. I just like providing them with water because this is how they get their water. We can see the Oryphotos piranha. It's kind of walking around in there. She is starting to lay eggs, which is good. They will hatch in about 9 months because they are parthenogenic, and I did not have a male. That's going to be a while, but they will hatch, which is good. Getting in there so it's all misted, and then we're going to water the plants. Make sure the squam gets it. Make sure she gets it. Oh, she's so pretty. What an amazing species of snake. How beautiful. How very nice. She's a cool female. She's actually real chill. She doesn't strike ever. It's actually a little bit of a pain sometimes to get her to eat because she doesn't really have that dog in her. But I've had her for a decent amount of time. I'm trying to see if I can get her to... She's a nice big female. She is an adult. I got her for quite cheap. She's very cool. Ferris are not a snake that you want to get bitten by. No, certainly not. It's sort of disputed whether or not they're even really that venomous, but I don't want to take any chances, so as far as I'm concerned, they might as well be as venomous as an inland taipan, because, as the saying goes, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. Anyways, let's put her back in there. These guys I have no issues with. They sort of just do their duty and mess around. They're not that hard to take care of. They're really not that hard to work with. You saw how chill she was. Squam's even chiller. No, he's not. He's slightly less chill, but he's really not that bad to deal with. I'm not going to pull him out because he's kind of nestled in, but we can sort of get a look at him in the leaves down there. He's just chilling. He's still a baby, basically, but he will grow to about the same size as her. She is getting her fill of water right now. You can see her drinking the little droplets off of the branches and leaves there. This is why I mist in here. It's because that's the way they get their water, is by drinking it off of surfaces. They don't actually drink from standing water. Right, that's the end of the video, guys. Well, I think it'd be best to hide you guys here until the next one. So, see ya.